Hi, good evening, Yasin.
Hello, good evening, Suraj. How are you? And how
I'm
are you,
good. I'm
everyone?
good. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you. Suraj,
So,
can I
uh,
review the questions, answers of the
so
last
I think
classes?
there is few more
Or
people to answer there actually. So I think we should give it a little time for them to answer it.
okay,
So that we don't spoil it before they answer. So
okay. Then it will be better if I give you the answer in the comments.
yes, that will be better so
Suppose
that
in your
it won't be spoiled.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
yes, in your LinkedIn post, I will send the answers there.
Sure. Okay. I think we can start with the session for today.
So we should wait for some minutes, or we will start immediately now.
I think we should start. There were a lot of people who joined early. So let's not make them wait way too long. So yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm starting now. Hello, everyone. I hope you are watching my screen share, my desktop. Today we have to discuss about the module 5, virtual networking. What is virtual networking? Suppose in our if you want to build a computer, if you want to build a office or any infrastructure, then we first of all we have to consider that we need to do some networking. Networking means to connect the devices with them and also with the internet of the outer world. And virtual networking means in the cloud, we will make infrastructure, IaaS, what we discussed in the first class, and there we will make some networking components with the components of networking components. We will make some networking with the device inter devices and also from the internet. So from here, we will read about what is virtual networks, what is how we make the IP addressing. There will be a network security groups, NSG. There will be a security, another security for firewall and for DNS service, and there will be a lab. So first of all, we will go for lesson one, what is virtual network. Azure virtual networking, there are a lot of components is there to make a virtual network in Azure, like virtual networks, load balancer, application gateway, firewall manager, traffic manager, load balancer. Lot of things is there to some are for connecting networking, some are for monitoring networking, and some are for just control the network or secure the network. Azure requires the same types of network functionality as on-premises infrastructure. As when we build any infrastructure in our premises, what type of topology or what type of structure we need, same structure and same topology we can use by those components in the Azure. Azure networking offers a wide range service and products. As I told that there is a lot of products and services in Azure for networking. Virtual networks. Virtual network means there is a network we will build that we cannot see the routers and switches and hubs and cables, but there will be a network. This is virtual networks. It is built in cloud. Oh, that's why it is virtually. You just feel it, you can use it, but you cannot see the proper physical devices there. In virtual network, there is another things. It is called subnet. Subnet means a big virtual network or a virtual network. We can divide that network some small networks. These are the called subnet. First of all, I want to say that this today's topics will go for only networking, so it will be better that if you have some knowledge about what is the network, what is the IP address, the CID notation of IP address, and these. If you have not that much knowledge about this, in Stava, I take one session about Azure networking. So after the class, you can check those one, that session that will be more clear to you, because from that session I just covered the Azure networking, all the networking, moreover all the networking components in the Azure. And I started that session from the very basic, like what is public, what is the IP address, how IP address work, what is the classes of IP address, what is the CIDR, how you make the CIDR notation like this. So this is the Azure. Actually, this one is the Azure AZ104 session. For that reason, I'm not going through of the basics of networking. I'm just going what we need in the AZ104. So this is virtual network, and we made some small subnets. Why you use divide the a big network into a subnet? There are some purpose. What are those purpose? Main simple main easy purpose is to make it simple. Simple means, suppose you have a big office and you have some department in your office: management department, HR department, IT department, accounts department, purchase department, procurement department, lot of department. So we make a big network. We make initially a network in our whole office, and we make some small subnets or small group of network for each departments. So it is easy for us to maintain those networks. We also do in the Azure for similar reason. It is create dedicated private cloud only virtual networks. It is only dedicated for the private cloud only virtual networks. It will be in privately. So any other, suppose in Azure, company A is using Azure, and company B, another company B is also using Azure, and they are both are making virtual networks, but both will be totally different. Like they are working like a private network. No one can see, no one can connect with each other. Securely extend your data center with virtual networks. Suppose if you have a data center in your on-premise, there is a two type of options to connect with your on-premise with your Azure virtual network. Like one is normal VPN gateway, and another one is specially, which is especially for Azure. That's one is express route, and it is enabled like hybrid scenario when it is work like your Azure virtual network and your on-premise network is connect with each other, then it is called the hybrid scenario. It means data is passing and synchronizing with your cloud and your on-premise data. So there is the some graphical representation about virtual networks. You can see here this all are the virtual big things is the virtual network, and under this virtual network we have divided one subnet here, and in the subnet there are two virtual machines, two computer. As in a simple way, there is a two computer, and each computer there is NIC. Why you show it in NIC? Because IP address, subnet is meaning the IP address. Subnet divided in the IP addresses. So IP address, where actually IP address assigned in the computer. In the computer, we assign the IP address in the NIC, network interface card. That's why it is showing their NIC. So every computer has at least one or more. At least one, there will be a NIC. So NIC is consist of IP addresses. So this that's why it is showing a symbol of NIC. So in this subnet there are two virtual machines, and two virtual machines. There are two IPs will be there. For there is another virtual network. This is one virtual network, and there is another virtual network. Suppose this one is for branch A, and this one is for branch B, and this is your another branch on premise. So branch A and branch B also can be connected with VNet peering. There is a called VNet peering. With this VNet peering technology, you can connect with one virtual network with another virtual network very easily, and also you can connect with on-premise with every virtual network. So this scenario is likely called to hybrid cloud scenario. So subnet, what is the subnet? Subnet will be like this. There will be a name of subnet, and there will be address range, how many 224 means 251, 255, actually 250, 256 address we have, you can use, but 5 address is reserved by the Azure for the system use. And this is security group NSG. We will see NSG, network security group there. So these are the subnets. Subnet is noted by 2 by 4, 24, 20, 20 there may be 16, 24, any number, 22. Why? Because these are the CIDR notation. Again, I am telling, if you have problem to understand about what is CIDR notation in IP address, please check my others session in Stava. That one is called Azure networking. I believe that you will be more clear for some basic networking on there. So a virtual network can be segmented into one or more subnets. Can be segmented into one or more subnets. Subnets provide logical division with your network. It is a logical division with your, not like physical. It is a logical division. Subnets can help improve security. It can help improve security. How security? Because you can put some energy. We will show how to put some energy in subnet.
Hi, Yasin. I think we are not able to hear you. Can you recheck if everything's good? Sorry, everyone. I think we have Yasin's having some technical issue in Teams. He should be back once he fixes it. So let's give him a little bit time so he can work on it. In the meantime, I have posted the assessment for the yesterday's question. I think there is only like 40, 45, 46 people who have answered it. There are 200 people here. Uh, have a look at it. If you like answer it there, and we will.
Hello, hello, hello. Surag, are you hearing me? Hello.
Hello everyone. Uh, Yasin, I think you are in mute.
Okay, sorry, I was mute. Hello, so I'm continuing again. These are the subnets, and subnets are the segments from the one virtual networks, and these are the some parts of the virtual networks. So you can divide it with one virtual network in as the different as many subnet as we can, depending on the address range. And these are the address range by the CIDN notations. And this one is the IPv4. Actually, where we working with IPv4 available addresses, not supporting now IPv6 address. And there is a security group. Security group means suppose if there is a security group NSG0, it means that NSG0 is a security groups. Here there are some maybe some security rules is applied here, like inbound security or outbound security. Then this security is applied on this subnet. Subnet means which are having which PCs, suppose which devices are having this range of IP addresses, those are in this security groups. So if there is a security, if there is like no one can use the internet, or like no one can go for RDP, like remote desktop connection, then if any user from the consist of this IP address cannot use RDP or cannot use internet like this. So you can apply security group here easily, and it will be more flexible to make your group insecure. So how we make implementing virtual networks, how we first of all you need to create a new virtual network, then add virtual network in a virtual machines, and need a defined to address space. At least one subnet will be there. We have to be careful that overlapping address spaces, there will be no overlapping with the address spaces. So from here, I am just going for to a lab to check. I will share. Uh, I will cover one topics by one topics and go through the lab to check the things in practically. So now I am going to the lab how to make how to make virtual network and subnets. So here is the create a virtual network. One option is in the portal, and another option is the PowerShell. So we will show here the create the virtual network in the portal. So IP addressing also, there is IP addressing. So in IP address, as we know that there are two type of IP address. One is private IP address, another is public IP address. What is private IP address? Used within a Azure virtual networks, VNet, and your on-premise network when you use a VPN gateway or express route circuit to extend your network as your private IP address. Actually, that IP address that you will use your internal network. You cannot use in the internet. Suppose if you have a website or any app that you hosted in your on premise, there you put a private IP address, then that hosted website and apps only accessed by your internal office network. Nobody from outside of the office cannot check this one, because this one is private IP address, and private IP address is free. You don't need to buy anything, you just can use it. And there is another IP address is public IP address. It is used for communication with the internet, including Azure public facing service. Azure public facing service, it means that which service we are using to go outside of my network, then we will use the public IP address. Suppose private IP address where you use in a VNet, normally in VNet, because it is like a private network, on premises network, in my office network, VPN gateways, because the VPN gateways, though there is a connectivity between the on-premise and VNet through the internet, but there will be a tunnel in the secure tunnel. For this reason, it will be private use private IP address and as well as express route. And what will be the public IP address? Public IP address will be facing, suppose if from the any VM, if you want to go through the internet, then it will be used by public IP address, and public facing service by firewall. Suppose a what is the firewall? Firewall is to control your traffic from the internet and to the internet. So in the firewall, there be a public IP. So how we make a public IP address? There is a option of public IP address. You just create public IP address. There are two type of IP address version, IPv4 and IPv6. You can set this one. SQ is a standard version. Two version of SQ is there. One is basic and another is standard. Then you can give the name and you can give IP address segment dynamic or static. Then dynamic means it will change after some time, and static it will not change. Range and every you have to remember that IP public IP address you have to give money, or you will be charged for this to use. Now there is public IP address where we will use in virtual machines. We can use in NIC, means network interface card. It can be dynamic. It can be static. In load balancer, we will read in maybe in the seventh class about load balancer. Front end configuration there, dynamic, and VPN gateway also we can use public IP address, gateway IP configuration in the gateway, and application gateway. It all these things also we will do gradually. Apply public IP address sources can be associated with the virtual machine network interface. In network interface, you can put the public IP address. In internet facing load balancer, there will be load balancer. We will read about how we load balance the traffic load in our Azure network. There also in the public face site, you can put public IP address and VPN gateway, and is also as well as application gateway. And this one is private IP address, where we will put private, same as virtual machine internal load balancer. This one will be the backend configuration, and application gateway also in the backend configuration, front end configuration also in the backend configuration. Both we will put there, private IP address. Now network security groups is the different thing. So before we going to network security groups, now I will go in the lab, and in there I will check the how we will make a virtual network and subnets with IP addresses. This is the portal. As you know, every class I am just showing this portal and working in this portal. So last class I told you that if you want to do any take or do any service, then you have to, first of all, you have to make one resource group. Without resource group, you cannot use any service. So this is the resource group. So I click the resource group. So there is two resource group here. So I am making one, like create. So what is the name? First of all, this one is this, yes, subscription. I took the subscriptions. This one is CLASS class 5. What is the region? Region I took East US. Tag, no need to tag now. Just skip the tag to make it fast. Create. It's already created. Class 5. That is a resource. So we will now create virtual networks. From here, you will type virtual virtual. Then you will see their virtual networks. Click here. There is no virtual networks here. So I will create one. Just click here. It will take some time. Create. It is going for create. Now it's coming. Yes, it's came. So there is called as one subscription I have, this one is disabled. So I will take the enable subscription. So there you may have, if you may have a lot of subscription like 4, 5, 6, 7. So which subscriptions, under which subscription do you want to create this virtual network? You can select from here. So resource group, I know my resource group is class 5, or you can check create resource group here also. Name, same type, I can give CLA class 5 or just VNet 1. It will be better to easy. VNet 1. Same. Now next is IP address. So here I will put address. The IP address range is this one, but you can delete it and you can give your own range also here. So when we need to give our own range, suppose we have, you are making a office infrastructure there and your architecture, solution architecture give a range of IP addresses and everything's in there. So configuration properties is there. So that's why you will follow those property. Then you can give, you can change. But as it is, we are just may keep it here. And there's a subnet. I told you that there should be a one subnet. So here is the default subnet. So I'm clicking here and make it subnet A, just for. And here is the subnet address range 10.0.0.0. By 24. This is /16 and this is /24. Why it is /24? Because it is under this range, IP address range. So now I am making, there is some things, net gateways and service points. When we will read about net gateway and service point, then you can understand why it is here. So now just leave it like as it is and make a save. So it is saved here. So I will make another subnet here. So it will like subnet. I will make the name subnet B. And what will be the address? 10.0.1.0/24. So look, here is written, I have 251 address I can use and 5 address Azure is received addresses. For why? One is for firewall and another is one net gateway like this. They are reserving some for use some system. They are reserving 5 Azure addresses. So now again add, like I can do another subnet. Why I am creating subnet more than 2? Because you can understand easily. 10.0.2.0/24. Add. So these are the 3 subnets here. Now go for security. So there is a 3 things: Bastion host. Bastion host. What is Bastion host? Bastion host for a like remotely connected. You can remotely connect to these any virtual machines with the browser. No need to for public IP address. With the private IP address, with the help of Bastion host, you can remotely access a virtual machine in your Azure by the browser. This is called Bastion host. We will check the Bastion host when we will read the virtual machines topics. So DDoS protection, all we know about DDoS, about some phishing attacks of DDoS. So these one are disable. We make it firewall also now. If we can make it enable, but not now. We will make it disable later. We will do firewall. Tags, we will not do the tags now. We know we know everyone that why I will why you went and when we will use the tag. So now no need to use the tag. So click review and create. So it is reviewing my options that I have given to make a virtual network. So validation is passed. Now it is create. So it will take time to create. So it is deployment in progress. So go to resources, already done. So here is one subnet called VNet1 is here. And here is all the options is there. Subnets, we can click here subnets, then we can see there is 3 subnet here. Now I'm making another one, VNet, another virtual networks, VNet2. Same way, click create, choose the subscriptions, sorry, then resource group +5, name, VNet2, then IP address as it is. There is another subnet A, same name, no problem, because this is different VNet. This is 10.1.0 subnet. Another subnet I will create. CPNet subnet B, which will be 10.1. Sorry, 1.0/24. So add another subnet I will create. CPNet subnet C, and it will be 10.1.2.0/24. So add. So next security as it is, tags, review and create. Create. Now it is initializing the deployment and it will start the deployment soon. So my deployment is finished. So again, I'm clicking virtual networks to check is done or not. Refresh. Yes, now look. There's two, one is VNet1, another is VNet2. This is VNet2. Here is the VNet2, there is a resource group and everything is there. Like subnets. You get subnets. Here is also the subnets here. These are the subnets. So here we learn how to make a VNet, and under this VNet, how to we can make subnet. So now I'm going to again in the my lecture sheet. Now we will go for network security groups. There is the option of network security groups in Azure where you can control the traffic or limits the traffic in a virtual network. The security groups, there is a two options. Either it will allow some traffic or it will deny some traffic. It will be, it can be attached with a subnet or in a network interface. Network interface means a computer. You can assign a network security group rules straightly into a computer, virtual machines, or a subnet. Subnet means all the virtual machines under this subnet. Anyone you can do. Can be achieved multiple times. You can be use this one multiple times. So there are two type of rules. One is inbound security rules and another one is outbound security rules. Security rules in NSG, it is shortly used network security group. NSGs enables you to filter network traffic that can flow in and out of virtual network subnets and a network interface. It can control the network traffic from the virtual network subnet and network interfaces, as I told you. There are default security rules. There are some default security rules. When we'll create network security groups, then automatically they will give you some default rules. That default rules you cannot delete, but you cannot add, you can add by own some rules also with the higher priority. So how will affect? This is affect like this way. It is effective rules like NSGF rule. There is two groups you give. So NIC will automatically, this NIC will automatically check which one is effective for them. That one, that rules he will affect if there is two rules is there. I will create NSG rules. So let's go in the portal. It will be better to see here, and then you can understand more clearly. So network security group, right here, NAT network or NSG. If you write NSG, let's see whether it come or not. Yes, NSG network security groups came. Just click here. So there is no network security group you can create. So here you will select the subscription resource. I will create +5 name CL5 dash NSG because it is a network security group. I am giving all the region in NSG. It will be in East US, all the region. Tags when you need, just review and create. It is a simple way to create. There is no, when we are creating that time, we don't need to any configuration. We will configure the energy after the creations, and I will show you how it will be. Take some time for creating. Deployment is in progress. So it's done. So go to the resources. So already it is created CL5 NSG. So here you can see already there are 3 inbound securities there by default. You cannot delete these things, and 3 outbound security. So there are 2 security rules. One is inbound and another one is outbound. And there is a network interfaces. Look, in network interfaces there is, we cannot take any network interfaces and virtual machines. That's why it's not coming here. But if you click subnets, then there will be subnets come. If you want to associate from here, there are virtual networks. Suppose if you put some rules in this CL5 energy network security group, now you want to impose those rules to a subnets, then you can click here. Suppose in VNet 2, in which subnet you can create subnet C. Then if you create OK, then it will come here. So what is inbound security rules? Inbound security rules is like this. So these are the default. So I cannot delete this ones. You can try. So look, it cannot be highlighted to make it delete. So you cannot, if you want to delete, though you cannot delete this one. This is locked. So I can add, so add source. Source means from where you want to put the source, where you want to start the security rules. This is inbound, any rules, any, or if you have any IP address or IP address range, or your my IP address, it means your IP address. And suppose it is taking my IP address, look, 119.1.1.0.168. This is my IP address, automatically taking any service tag or application security group. Application security group, we will, when we will uh, look at that one, then you can understand. And service port, source port range. Every every service there, you have to do some port. There are some port TCP, like HTTP, like FTP, and there are some service in our VM, maybe run in our VM. So that there are different service ports. So you can here you can use the service port, or you can make like all star means all service port. Destination, you can like this put any IP addresses or any. Suppose I want to block the RDP 10.1.1.5, one PC. This is 10.1.5. I want to block RDP, any from any other computer cannot remotely connected with this IP. So I want to this one. So service, which service I want to block? RDP. So click RDP. Allow. I will make it deny. Priority 100. You can make it 110 or 200, 2000, any. Look, deny RDP inbound. It will inboundly reject. So add. So once security rules is apply, what is this one is deny RDP. And now there is outbound security rules. Outbound security rules means what we will go through from the subnet. So it will be any, and suppose IP address. There is a IP address like any IP address from outside you can put here with their range, and you can put like custom SSH. Don't be accessed by SSH or HTTP or HTTPS from browser. It cannot access. Then you can put here hello or deny. You can put deny. Then 2010 you can put here 2050. Then you just put add. Then it will be a outbound security rules will come here. So this is the NSG, and these groups, these rules will be imposed in subnet C of VNet 2 like this. So I'm deleting now deassociated this one because I don't want to put any rules here. So from, if you want to delete, there is option, just click here and make it delete. It will delete the rules here. So these are the network security groups, and we learn what is the network security groups and how we can add inbound and outbound security rules, and also how we can associate that rules with network interface and subnets. As just remember that network security groups rules you can apply on two things. One is in the subnet and in the network interface. Network interface means in a virtual machines. Now again, I am going to my slide. Now we will go for firewall. Firewall is a common term in our technology. Moreover, everyone we know about firewall. Some firewall maybe in the software or maybe in the hardware. So Azure has a firewall with a stateful firewall service built in high availability and unrestricted cloud scalability. Scalability means it can be it can increase their power, increase their features by your using. Create, enforce, and log application and network connectivity policies. There are a lot of policies there. Threat intelligence based filtering. It can filter the threat. Fully integrated with Azure Monitor or logging and analytics. You can log and monitor that Azure firewall activities. Support for hybrid connectivity through deployment behind VPN access PRAO. When you use for on-premise connection, then also Azure firewall can connect the with your local gateway or local firewall. So implementing firewall, how we will firewall we can implement. There is a hub and spoke topology is recommended. Hub and spoke topology is a one special topology for Azure. This is working like this. There is a graphical representation here. So I am discussing here how it works. Actually, this is the on-premises network. In on-premises network, there is a gateway. Gateway is the devices where it connect the outside or different network with your network. Okay, this is called gateway. So this is the on-premises network, and there is a gateway. It can be a router, it can be a firewall, both. So hub is a virtual network, is a hub virtual network. That virtual network is connected. It will work. This hub, it is called hub because it virtual network is working as the medium of two connection. It will work as a medium of the two connection. So in the hub, this we will put the resources in hub virtual network. What are those resources? Those resources which are directly sharing by two networks which are connected, which want to be connected. Suppose here is one premises network, on premises network. This one is connected, want to connect with our two virtual networks. Spoke one virtual network and spoke two virtual network. There are two virtual network. So this on-premise network will be connected with this virtual network through this hub virtual network. What is there? There are three types of services there. One is gateway subnet. There is a gateway, so we make one gateway subnet here. Another one is firewall subnet. There will be a firewall. And another one is Jumpbox VM. This is a management subnet. Management subnet means this will manage this hub virtual networks devices. And these are the other subnets. Under that subnets, there are some VM. So what we learn from here, that if you want to connect with implementing implementing with a firewall and connect with on premises, then we have to make two extra. We want to make another virtual network that is called hub virtual network, and under that hub virtual network you will put the Azure firewall and Azure firewall subnet. Clear? And it is more secure. This is security purpose, they are using this one. Firewall, there are three rules. One is net rule collection, network rule collection. Another one is application rule collection. Net rules is configure DNet rules to allow incoming connection. DNet, DNet rule is suppose from the outside of the network, if anyone is connected to your network, then you can put some rules there to control the connections. And network rules connection contains source addresses, protocol destination ports, and destination addresses. Configure rules that contain source addresses, some source in your network. Suppose if you put some rules, then you will use the network rule. An application rule, what is application rule? So configure fully qualified domain names, FQDN, that can be accessed from a subnet. Suppose if you want to block any website or any applications from the internet or inside your network, then you will use the application rules collection. So let's check in the portal. Is here from virtual networks. Suppose in VNet 1, I want to make one firewall in VNet 1. So click here to add a new firewall. I am showing you the easy way to create a new firewall. This is the subscription. Resource group already they have taken a name CLY dash FW. FW means firewall. East US, EAST, East US. Because all my subnet in the East US. So I will put this one as the East US. Available zone, if you put one and none, I put it none. No need to available zone. And I make it basic. Standard at premium, it will take cost. So I put it basic. Firewall policy, there is no policy. So I add a new. So just name a policy BAS best basic policy and you can put East US. Then basic okay. Now choose virtual subnet network. Suppose I want to choose a existing one. VNet 1. So for standard request, the virtual network have a subnet named Azure Firewall Management Subnet. It will be like Azure Firewall. There is no public IP address. So one thing before the creating, they are needed. That is telling that you need to create one Azure Firewall subnet in VNet. So for this, I need to create one subnet here. So open a network tab. VNet 1. I want to create a subnet for firewall. So here is the subnets. Create subnet. Always remember you have to write like this: Azure firewall subnet subnet. You can make it 4, 5, anything, but I make it this is like this. Save. Already make it. Now I can check. Should be like then I can go for, if you click over here, Azure firewall not work. FIR firewall. Create. Let's see whether it is working from here or not. So, making the class 5 name CL5 FW ESTS and basic firewall policy. No policy, add new PS STS. You can choose virtual network new, but if I use existing one, then you have to use existing one. VNet 1. I have made one. Why it is not connecting Azure virtual name? Oh, Azure virtual management subnet. Oh, this one also I have to make. So another subnet. Azure virtual Azure firewall. What is written there? Is there Azure firewall management subnet? Firewall the spelling, setting right. Now save. Now it should work. I think it should work now. Minute one. Now, five name CL5 FW STS version none basic. Let's see again here. Yes. If it is not done here, then I will follow another way. Existing minute one. Now I think it will work. Now look, it's came. Now we have a need a public IP address here. As I told you before that for firewall, we need public IP addresses. So here is a public address. Just take a public name, FWP and click OK. Then management public IP address. This one is public IP address for this virtual network, and this one is management public IP address for managing the firewall from the internet. FWP2. As it is. Okay. Now next tags. No need to tag. Now review and create. It will start create our firewall. So validation is passed. Now it is creating my firewall. From where? The firewall is in VNet 1, virtual network 1. There's a problem with my connection. Now I think it's okay. Everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now firewall, I think firewall is ready. Let's check about firewall. Yes, the firewall is ready. Sorry everyone, I was disconnected by the power failure. So now it is okay. So where I was in. So I am refreshing. So my firewall is ready. Now I will check my firewall with whether it is working or not. Yes, it's ready and it is already deployed. Now this is the firewall of CL5 FW. Just we made it. There is some firewall options. So there is one thing is a firewall manager. When we use firewall manager, suppose you have more at two or three or four firewalls, a lot of firewalls there, then from the firewall manager you can easily configure and easily maintain and monitor the firewall manager. So actually no need here because I have only one firewall here. Public IP configuration, that we have a public IP in firewall. As I told you, these are the public IP FWP. We have a one public IP here. If you want another public IP, then also you can add here the public IP address. So these are the public IP address. We have two. One is FWP, and we can add also here. One is FWP2 if you need. So here we no need, actually make it as default here. Now, what do you now next is how we can apply the rules here. So from rules, to apply the rules here, I will go for virtual networks, VNet 1. There is also firewall. Click here the firewall, CL5. Just check whether the VNet 1 subnet for VNet network, this one is connected with our firewall or not. This one is connected. Now this is the rules and this is the policy. So there is no rules, no collection, nothing is here. So I want to make one policy of rules. So just click here. Again, I am showing it is little bit tricky. Go for firewall. Check the firewall, and in the firewall policy, firewall manager, you just click the name of the policies. So here are the some policy rules collection, and the DNet rules, network rules, application rules is there. So as I told you, there are three rules. One is DNet, and for uh, networking for out in and out of your that virtual networks traffic, and this one is network rules for internal uh, your internal monitoring on trafficking, and this one is application if you want to do so. Rule collections, there are some rules, you have to add some rules. For rule collection group, you can make a group and do some rules. I don't need now, just for checking we just make a rule collection to make a rule. So name, suppose I am telling there net one rules. What is the rules type? This one is network type rules. Allow, it will be numeric 100 to 6500. So I make it 200. What this rule will be, allow or deny? I make it deny. The name N1, any name you can do. IP address, so IP group or IP address. Suppose if you give IP address, then there will be one IP address. So I put source IP address is star, any IP address, all IP address. Which type is ICMP? I put ICMP. Destination is like 80. Destination IP address from where? It can be service tag, it can be FQDN, full domain name, or IP group. I make it IP address. I make 0.0 point, suppose 10.1.0. Suppose this is IP address from any one of that VNet1 source cannot ping. ICMP means ping, cannot ping any IP address, any ping. So if I add, this is deny, so it will deny. Then this is the rules of, this is now adding. It's taking some time for adding. Meanwhile, we can check another rules. Rule collections. Name suppose D dnet dnet dn2, any name you can. Now I put this dnet, so this one will be 500. This is rule collection action is like this. It is automatically dnet translation because it is translated rules. So suppose if you want to put your name dn2, it will make some IP address. Suppose any source of IP address, if there is any source of IP address is there, I through protocol TCP UDP both, destination port will be like 8080 and IP address. Okay, the what will be the IP address will go, it will be IP address like 192.168.1.0 type IP address, and translated IP address will be, suppose their IP address will be 10.1.1.2, and it will be translated to the like 192.168.1.3 to any IP address you can give in your requirements. So 8080, then unit rule collections, then it is traditional should must IP the firewall with this policy. IP address should look, the destination IP address should be matched with the firewall associated policy. So destination IP address is not matching. Firewall policy not matching to 168.1.3. Also not matching. This is for destination address. Actually, we don't have any destination, so that's why it's not matching this one. So when we have a destination address, then we can make a destination address, and this destination is translated by the IP address with the another address. So like this way, you can add a DNet. DNet actually the net resolution system service. Suppose what is the net resolution? I'm just discussing you the net resolution things. Net, if you are in the background of networking, or if you know about networking, suppose you have in your net, in your internal network, there are some networks, IPs or subnets. Now if anyone wants to go in the internet in a router, there is a configuration of net configuration. From the net configuration, these are the all private network inside your internal network. So if you go, if you visit to the suppose facebook.com or google.com, when you send message requests to your router that I want to go Google network and my private IP address, then router what happened? Router making a net configuration, and in the net configuration in the router there will be a public IP address, and that private IP address will be automatically translated in the private IP address, and this private IP address is straightly go to the internet and try to find the google.com and coming back to your network by the gateway, and again convert that private public IP address to private IP address and send it to your computer. This is the way of work of net address, and the same thing is it is doing here. As we are not functioning properly, making configuration here properly, that's why we are not making this one. If we have any infrastructure ready with our subnets PCs and gateways, then we can apply this one. So just I am showing the process of make the DNet. Now suppose I don't want to make DNet, Now suppose add a rule collection. Okay, make. So this is a net one. As we first we put net one is here. So I another rule collection I want to make. This one is application rule collection. App. So this one I will put applications 600. Anyone you can deny, put deny. User application group. We'll make a rule like application rules group. So name FB. I will make FB deny a Facebook. Any if any one from that protocol will be HTTP and the name FQDN means full quality domain and name will be www.facebook.at. So what happened? Any PC from that subnet vnet1 cannot access facebook.com. So this is the control of applications. You can control, suppose if you have an application like uh, what can I say, like accounting application in your network, and you don't want to give access to any others users except accounting people, accounting employee to this uh, accounting applications, then you can use this application rules by this way. So let's check. It's coming. Just wait a minute, it will come. So this is the way how we can create Azure firewall, and in the firewall we can create some rules, and these rules will be in a virtual net. Now I am going again the slide. Now we have a domain here, DNS. What is DNS? DNS is a domain name server. It is regularly translate the domain to a IP address and IP address to a domain. As we know, that system knows the IP address. Network devices knows the IP address. They don't know about the our human beings readable things like any domain. Domain means google.com, facebook.com, bbc.com, xyz.com, like this. So when we write in the browser facebook.com, this convert this facebook.com as a IP, and it send it to the network, find out that that IP and connect the data again in our PC, and again converted in the DNS by the DNS as a facebook.com, and it comes to our browser. It works like this. So this is the DNS. The DNS, everyone has a domain name. You can make a domain in your Azure. If you have any domain in your Azure, you can hosted that domain in your Azure and connected with DNS. So this is the thing. So how we can make it? We will check here. When you create a Azure subscription, an Azure AD domain is created for you. When you create a subscription, then automatically a domain, default domain will created by you. The domain has initial domain name in the form of domain name dot omni on microsoft.com domain name, or if you like your name, suppose I make account with my name jointo10, so it will be here jointo10 dot on microsoft.com, like this. Or if you make a make a uh, work account with your company like Lotus. So it will be like lotus.onmicrosoft.com. You can customize and change the name. If you want, you can customize or change this name. After the custom name is added, it must be verified. Suppose if you want to customize the name, it must be verified. Verified to how? Suppose you have a domain you buy from the GoDaddy or any other service. Now you want to make this domain in this Azure, then you have to verify that you are the owner of this domain by giving some configuration parameters there. So how you make verify the you need to take the DNS record. There are some record MX and TXT, and it is provided in the DNS zone of your company, or Azure will query that DNS domain and presence of the record, and it is takes several minutes or several hours. Suppose in GoDaddy, you will have some you will get txt and mx some records, and that records parameters you will put in your Azure DNS, and you have to wait for some minutes or some hours. It is depending, and it is called the propagation time. Azure DNS zone. A DNS zone hosts the DNS records for a domain. What is a DNS zone? A DNS zone where we use the hosted the parameters of the domain, the records of the domains. The name of the zone must be unique within the use resource group. Resource group, it will be unique name. That the name cannot be, cannot be same. That will be unique. Where multiple zones shares the same name, each instance is assigns different name server address. Multiple zone. There can be a multiple zone from different DNS. They can be shared the same instance and the name server. Root per parent domain is registered at the register and pointed to the Azure NS. There is a parent domain, that one is directly registered and it is pointed to the Azure name server. Name server means where the domain is working or domain is functioning. DNS delegation. There is also is a DNS delegation. When they are delegating the domain to Azure DNS, you must use the name server. Names provided by the Azure DNS use all. Suppose this is the name server of Azure DNS. So when your domain is in the Azure, then you have this name server. These are the name server you have. You all this your domain is under this name servers. And this is the DNS record set. There are some record set like type A, TTL, private domain. What is the private domain? Private zone and private domain. Private domain is like suppose this you are making one in your own privately use, not for publicly. From the public internet, they cannot use in the your inside the your virtual network. They can use. This is called DNS private network. Use common record types, same things you can manage. Suppose here one is VM1 and VM2, and you make a DNS zone for private DNS, and there is a 10 point, you make the name of that DNS is control.lab. Now you configure those DNS to your VM2 contoso.lab. Automatically it will go to the 10.0.0.5 PC. When you write in your browser, or when you write to ping vm.contoso.lab, it will connect it. It will take connection. It will get connection from VM1 10.0.0.4. This is the way to make a private zone DNS. And this is the end of presentations of module 5. Now we will go for module 6. This is for module 6. This is intersite connectivity. Now we will read about how we will connect with each VNet or on-premise or any other connection with network to network. So there is where we will read here VNet peering, how we will connect with two virtual network, how we will make VPN gateway. There is a two-way of connection with on-premise. One is VPN, another is express route, and a virtual is a think about or a gist about virtual one. So VNet peering, what is VNet peering? VNet peering is suppose you wanna there is a two region or same region, two virtual network, you want to connect with two virtual network, then it is called VNet peering. It may be same subscription or different subscription. And there is a gateway also in VNet pairing. There is automatically there is a VPN gateway is working. You cannot see we just making a VNet pairing, but in the background there is a VPN gateway is working. So how to configure VNet network? As you told that is a hub VNet automatically when we will for making a hub VPN gateway. This VPN gateway is will be under the hub VNet. Let's let's go in the lab to check how we can connect one VNet with another VNet. So we have two virtual networks. One is VNet 2-2 and one is VNet 1. So VNet 1, click how we can make it. It is called VNet pairing. So this is VNet 1. Here is the option you can check pairing. In the left side of these options, there is a pairing. Click here. Name there is no pairing. So make it add. Pairing clean name. Always it will be VNet 1. To VNet 2. How we pairing? Pairing VNet 1 to VNet 2. Traffic default, you make it as default, no need to change anything. Now remotely be virtual network. Remotely means it will just vice versa it will be. Now remotely it is VNet 2 to VNet 1. Here make it VNet 2 VNet 1. Just vice versa you make it as theme SDN. Checking the loading the virtual networks. Let's see why it's not coming. It should come. Come. Yes, not yet. That's no virtual network from here. Yes. So this one is VNet. Where it is this one in VNet 2. Because this is in this remote network is in VNet 2. Now add. Now both are adding each other. The name is VNet 1 to VNet 2 and connected with VNet 2. Now pairing is done. So from now, anyone from VNet 1 and VNet 2 can connect it with each other in any IP. So this is the way how we can connect with any VNet from any region and any subscriptions. Now VPN gateway connections. What is VPN gateway? What is VPN? VPN is to transfer your data in a secure way over the internet. Here, there is a one VNet to one, there is a one virtual network, and you have a one on-premise office. So you want to connect with them, each other, to make a hybrid cloud. So what happened? You need a secure connection. And for that, you need a VPN tunnel, IPsec, IKS2S VPN tunnel. This is called site-to-site VPN tunnel. Site-to-site means a full VNet, full network with a full network of on-premises. This is called site-to-site VNet. Means simply a full office to a full office network connection is a called VPN network. VPN, site-to-site VPN, and there will get a VPN in Azure. There will a VPN gateway we will configure, and under this, inside this premises, there will be another local VPN gateway will connect, will be configured, and both will be connected through a tunnel. This is called VPN, IPsec So this is the process how we will make site-to-site VPN. First of all, create a VNet subnets, or create a gateway subnet. We have to create a gateway subnet. Then we will create a VPN gateway. Then in the local, we will create a local network gateway. Configure the VPN device in on-premises in your office. Then Azure VPN connection. Actually, make the configuration up to this one here because we don't have the facilities for these VPN devices. We don't have in VPN devices right now, so we can see from up to this, and we just think about the process. If you have options, then you can run. So let's go with. So I'm just, there is one thing, there's high availability scenario. One is like active and standby. One VPN, there you can make two VPN gateway. One will be standby, another one will be active. When it is any problem with this one will turn, will start. And this one is a jigsaw. Two are active and all are active in a way that if there is a disconnect with one connection, then automatically it will connect it with other. There is no for any standby or thing. All both are connected. This is the two topology. So let's start and check about VPN gateway. So what is the process? So process is first, we have to make subnet. This one already we have done. Now we will make a gateway subnet. So I will check. Suppose in VNet 2, we want to connect VNet 2 with our on-premise. So go here, subnets. Now here you can check the gateway subnet. From here you can just click. Gateway subnet already is there. You can modify it or customize it. You can customize this one, but I didn't touch it. Make it as default. Net gateway, nothing. Route table, no need to route table because we have no route table. There is no security groups there. Service, no service. All will be as it is. Now make it safe. So it is there adding a gateway subnet. Look, just wait. It will come up. This came the gateway subnet. Now what we have to do? We have to create a VPN gateway. Click here, VPN. Sorry. TUL. Virtual network gateway. Virtual private network gateway. So this is a VPN gateway. Just make create. You can subscriptions here. Resource group, no need. Already taking name, VPN get STUS. So gateway type will be VPN. It will be not express route. VPN type will be route based, not a policy based. Route based means it will maintain a routing table. SKU code will be like there are a lot of SKU code depending on the pricing and generation related with this SKU code. Virtual networks, VNet, one subnet, which subnet using, because we already created a subnets about gateway VNet, it is coming here automatically. So it is associated with VNet 1. Now public IP address we need, create new, we have existing, no, we have no existing. So we have to make create one, they will create new public IP address name, BPN, PUB, standard, availability zone, zone redundant, next tags, review and create. Now create. Now it create virtual network gateway. Already our virtual network gateway and gateway subnet is ready. Now what we will do? Now we will do. Now these options up to we can see, but this option we cannot. We will try local network gateway, but you can see there will ask for some configuration from here on-prem. So we check here. Let's see local local network. There is one deployment is going on, that's why it makes some slow. Create to make a resource group, subscription, make a resource group, classify, religion is US, name, any name you can give, local. Suppose here endpoint you can give IP address or FQDN. This IP address is the your local network gateway or FQDN. Address BGP settings. And also you can give autonomous number BGP peer IP address. If you know about networking, BGP is a protocol where you can route your IP through the internet. So these are the things, and then you can create. So the valuation is not passed because I didn't put that configuration parameters here. So this is the things. This is the way we can connect with on-premises and our Azure. So there is a connection is there. I can show you this one also. You can click here connection CONNE. There will be a connection. After that, you'll go for. I'm just giving the steps. Create. There's a lot of deployment is going on. That's why it's taking some time. Class 5. So written here VNet to VNet. There is a two VNet connection type. Site to site, or we'll take site to site. No need for VNet to VNet. Already we have done with VNet peering. Name local to as you just any name. I'm just giving any name. East US, East US. Now next will be settings. Now here is the setting. You will be VPN gateway. It will be there. If I make it a you know local network gateway, we have not that local network gateway we created. If we created, then it will come. Then standard PSK and Azure IP address. Then all the other parameters when we have this local on-premises configuration, then we can make that parameters here. So this way we can connect with on-premise data with local network gateway. So these are the VPN we have done. So as I told that there is some, the SKU depending on the prices and the also the speed of categories. The way that connection, I'm showing you this one. Now this one is express route. Express route is nothing. Express route is one thing that suppose in what we have done so far in VPN gateway, we are using our local service provider of internet to connect the our on-premise data with our Azure. But here there is inside a partner edge. Partner edge means Azure is selecting some service provider, internet service provider partner in your region, or there are selective regions there. They're selected some partners. If you contact or create service from their partner end, then they will do that VPN on-premise configuration on behalf of you. For this, you have to pay something. So from there, what happened? You are directly connected with your on-premise, with your Microsoft Office 365 VNet apps, or Microsoft Edge is there. So there is a configuration of Microsoft Edge, and here will be the partner Edge configuration. So there is a secure connection between on-premise and your Office 365. There will be two connection. One is primary, another secondary. If one is down, another will automatically active. And it is why this is more secure, because there is no third party service provider is there. All are Microsoft and Microsoft related provider is here. It is loose and low latency and high speed also, because there will be no low latency, because in this VPN we have to depending on our local service provider, local internet service provider. But here as this is the use of the partner of Microsoft, so we don't think about the speed and latency. So these are the express route options. Site to site express route, you can make both. Suppose one is for express route and another one is for normal VPN. This one also, this type of network also you can use, no problem. And another is point to site VPN. What is the point to site VPN? Point to site VPN is like this. Suppose in your company you have one chairman. You want to connect the chairman PC through your Azure. So one user is connecting your from your on-premises network to the Azure cloud. That one is called point site to point or point to site VPN. So these are the comparison of VP actual network site to site, point to site, and express route. As we told, all are here. So virtual ones, there is another option is virtual one is there. Beings together S2S site to site, point to site, and express route all together. There is you can make a site to site VPN here with a virtual LAN, create a virtual LAN, and there is a lot of VNet connection will be there. And with this, they are connected with the WAN service with your any operating systems we are using individually or in the branches or in the head office with the express route all together. You can make a WAN, virtual WAN there. It is two type of virtual WAN. One is basic, another is standard. So I'm showing the last lab of express route. It is a very easy. Suppose if you just makes a virtual private network, there you will find virtual internet network. When we'll go for virtual network gateway, you can check here. This here, suppose if you want to create, there is express route. You can put here express route standard and with virtual network. But where we will put the take the express route, Can express route from here. This route express route circuits. First of all, you have to make express route circuit here. So create circuit means the connection of express route. How we will configure the connection with the express route. This is enable. Now east-west. Why are we making east-west? Because my all VNet is in east-west. Name express. Now configuration. If you put configuration, look, port type, provider or direct. We will do with the provider. So we can provider, create new or import. If you have import service key, we have no service key of imported, so we have to create new. Here when we'll create new, then provider, you will create here. There is a lot of provider like ARNet, ARL, AT&T, lot of provider is there, BBIX, BCX, Bell Canada, lot of provider is there. You can BSNL, so you can use any provider from here which is feasible with you. Zayo locations you can give, where use your locations, how many bandwidth you want. It will be standard or premium, billing model, metered or unlimited. Allow classic operations, yes or no, no. Then you will go for text, then automatically it will make express route. Then this express route, we will give the configuration parameter in VNet, local VNet, then it will connected with your Azure portal. So far, this is these two modules so far we have done. One is for virtual network and another one is intersite connectivity. Look, already there is some deployment of class C resource group. I don't know what is that. So these are the things we have covered so far. So if you have any questions about this, you can ask. Yes, it is actually VNet name to VNet name. Actually, you need a credit card to take the portal of Azure. Or if you are a MCT, then you can have one uh, lab also to access. Any other questions? Yes, I will share my uh, this PowerPoint to Surag. Surag maybe share with you. What does priority refer, or what does it mean to be 200? It is not mean to be 200. I just gave the 200. You can give anything, but priority means which task they will do first. You will be considered as a prior. That's why your priority. I'm just giving 200. It depends on 100 to 6,500 or 200. There is a 500 to 6,500 like this. There is a range of different options, so you can follow that one. Assessment day two answers I will send to Surag also, so he will post it in that LinkedIn post. Yes, I will send it. MD Kamrujaman, I have already gave your answer.
Hello, Yasin, are you there?
Yes, yes. I'm just reading.
So if uh, is there any question that we missed?
I don't think so.
So if there is no other questions, we can wind up the today's session. Before we wind up, can you just post the answers? I think there was one question regarding the answer. We can just post it in the comments
Oh,
itself.
okay. If you want, then I can give here the questions. Just wait for a minute to check the questions where I put. Give checking the questions. Just wait.
I have the question with me. Like, do you want me to take it and
Yes,
post
yes,
it in the
yes.
comments? Okay,
I'm telling the
let me take it.
questions. You need to target. First question was you need to target policies and review spend budget across several subscription you manage. What should you do? Select one. It will be create management group because this management group, by creating management group, we can use the policy of subscriptions. Number two is you would like to categorize resource and billing for different departments like IT and HR. The billing needs to be consolidated across multiple resource groups, and you need to ensure everyone compiles with the solution. What do you do? Choose two complete, any two complete solution. First of all, we know the create tag of each department. Tag is for that billing purpose, and another one is to make a policy, to Azure policy. And number three is your company financial computer wants to notify whenever the company is halfway to spending the money allocated for cloud service. What should you do? It's very easy. Make a budget and spending the threshold. We told you that make a budget and that budget and make a threshold there. This is the answer of review three. Yeah, question three. Question four. Your organization has several Azure policies that they would like to create and enforce for a new branch office. What should you do? Obviously, there will be a policy initiative. We need a policy, create a policy initiative. A policy initiative would include all the policies of interest. So you need to create a policy initiative. Your company hires a new IT administrator. She needs to manage resource group with the first tier web servers, including assigning permissions. However, he should not have access to other resource group inside the subscription. You need to configure role-based access. What should you do? Select one. Assign her as a resource group owner because he cannot subscribe the other resources. That's why you have to make it as a resource group owner. The IT administrator needs to be able to assign permissions. So IT administrator, he will do this one to make her a resource group owner. And then we have a question number 6. You are creating a new resource group for testing. Which two the following parameters are required when you create a resource group with PowerShell and CLI? This one will be location and a name. Which of the following is not true about Cloud Shell? Cloud Shell is assigned multiple machines per user account. As I told that Cloud Shell only one user account for a machine, one machine. Review question 3. You are managing Azure locally using PowerShell. You have launched the app as an administrator with other following commands would you pass? Connect AZA account. You have a new Azure subscription and need more resources to that subscription. Which of the following subscription cannot be moved? It is tenant. Tenant cannot be moved. Others, all the resources you can move. Keyboard, storage account, and virtual machines, all you can move. Number five, the following it is not a element of template schema. What is that one is input. Input is not under the schema. Function, outputs, and parameters are already in the schemas. So these are the questions and answers. One and two. Okay, I am repeating one and two. One is you need to target policies and review spend budget across several subscription you manage. What should you do? It will be a create management groups. And question number what you for question number one and two. One and two is you'd like to categorize resources and billing different departments like IT and HR. The billing, what will you categorize that billing? Two different departments. So you can make a tag and you can create a Azure policy. And seven. Seven is which of the following is not true about Cloud Shell? Cloud Shell is assigned multiple machines per user account. Okay. No, it will be seven. Seven answer will be B. Anyone is having questions for today's class? Next class we will do with Azure storage and we have some traffic controls for network. First of all, we will do for network traffic management, then we will go for Azure storage.
It's like there
So,
is no more questions. Okay, then we can wind up the today's session. Thank you, Yasin, for this wonderful session. I hope everyone who joined us were able to grasp the modules that we were going through. And the recording of the today's session will be available in the YouTube, and the lectures will be shared in the community tomorrow as well. And see you all tomorrow again, same time. Thank you.
thank you very much. Thank you very much all. See you in the next day.